Is this a picture showing? I have a black screen.
That's what I see as well, Your Honor.
Mr. Alamon, do you have the capacity to turn on the video? Okay. Or you must not be on the line at this point. Can I have this set for a status hearing this morning? Where are we at?
Judge, it's a plea. We submitted the plea paperwork, and so it'll be a plea.
Okay. Well, we need Mr. Alamon.
I do believe he's just experiencing some technical difficulties right now, Your Honor.
Okay. Give him a couple seconds to try to work out the difficulties.
Your Honor, he just messaged me. He's not able to hear us at this time.
He's not able to hear us.
Doesn't seem so. He says he can see, but he can't hear.
Okay. Can he hear you?
I don't believe he can hear anyone on the call. I can.
Right there? Oh, I see. All right, right now?
Oh, to talk to him?
To talk to him?
When it says move, I can talk.
Your
Judge,
Honor,
this is going to be a plea for probation, so I don't know if we can try and just get it for another date that we can just have him plea out.
I'm not opposed to that for the case set for a plea, but he does have an arraignment as well. The court's not opposed to resetting both of those or a recall so that he could get back onto the call at a later time.
Right there. Try talking there?
Why don't we go ahead and reset it since he's having problems at this point?
He just messaged the Zoom that he can't hear anything still.
I can barely hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm saying we're not opposed to a reset. He's not able to hear right now.
Okay. What day should we reset this to?
We can do that September 8th setting since it's already ready to go.
Okay. This case is reset to September 8th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Aleman be excused? Well,
I'm sorry?
I had asked if Mr. Aleman may be excused.
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have 2017 CCR 0233, the state of Texas versus Francisco Guevara Alvarado.
I'm going to ask the Texas Drug and Illegal Aid on behalf of Mr. Guevara, Your Honor. He is on the call this morning. This case is set for a motion to revoke this morning, but I have spoken with the state and I'd be asking for another hearing date.
The state's not opposed to that, Judge. I think we're just trying to work it out.
Okay. Let's go ahead and reset.
I will set it for October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Guevara be excused for today, sir?
Yes, he may. And October 6th it is.
Next, we have 2019 CCR 0144, the state of Texas versus Jose Luis Barrios.
I'm here.
Do you have video potential? Joe, Mr. Barrios?
Yes. Yes, sir. I'm right here.
Okay. I have this set for a status hearing this morning.
Judge, I've not had contact with the defense attorney, Mr. Flores, on this case. I don't know if, I don't see him on. I'm not sure. I don't see all the screens, so I don't know if he's on.
It's my understanding that the attorney was ill, but I'm not sure if anything has been filed yet as of this morning.
Okay.
Did he advise the court, Jennifer, that he was
Good morning,
feeling sick?
Judge.
Oh.
Ms. Liz Cavazos is from the office of Robert Flores, Judge.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Mr. Flores is out with COVID.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I won't oppose a reset, Judge. I think we need at least a couple of weeks. I know the COVID protocol, I think is 14 days quarantine.
Yeah, today is actually his fourth day.
So at least 10 days. So we're looking at September, probably. What does it look like in September at this point?
And Judge, and just given that I haven't had an opportunity to go to talk to Mr. Flores on this case to see if we can work it out, if we could get the October date, that might give us a little bit more time.
October is fine.
Thank you.
We'll set it for October 6th.
October 6th.
At 9 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I know Judge, I know he had several cases that he has today. Is it possible for us to reset all of them?
Could I be excused?
You may be excused, Ms. Barrios.
All right, thank you.
Actually, Mr. Barrios is one of them.
Okay. Is it
I think-
possible to logistically to do that, or do we need to go down the list?
I think we can do that kind of as an announcement, and then we can just, when we come across them on the docket, we can just note it as we bring them up.
Okay.
Can we give them all the October setting just so that way we know that they're all going to be set for October?
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
That'll work, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
May I be excused?
You may be excused.
Thank you.
What was that, ma'am? I accidentally left on accident.
Mr. Barrios, they were just giving you that October 6th setting, and we were resetting all of Mr. Flores' cases to that date.
Oh, okay, thank you. I can go now?
You may be excused.
All right, thanks.
Okay, we have 2021 CCR 0005, the state of Texas versus Juan Fernando Calvo.
Mr. Solis?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Solis for Mrs. Calvo. I've recently met with Mrs. Hinojosa and discussed this case. She's extended an offer, generous offer to Mr. Calvo, but I've yet to have an opportunity to meet with him. So if I could have a short recess so that I could meet with Mr. Calvo and go over this offer that's been made by the state judge.
Okay, are you looking for a recess for today or resetting?
I'm sorry, not a recess, a reset, Your Honor. Perhaps maybe 30 days or so would give me plenty of time.
Okay. Ms. Gonzalez?
We'll do that September 8th setting, Judge.
September 8th for the reset.
Thank you, Your Honor. May he be excused.
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
We have 2018 CCR 0207, the state of Texas versus Guadalupe Camarena, and he's in our lobby, Judge.
Okay, we have this set for a status hearing this morning.
Yes, Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Camarena.
And what's the status of the case?
This is a case where Mr. Camarena was previously sentenced to a PTD, but was unable to complete the program partly because of his inability to hear. Mr. Camarena is deaf and was not allowed to complete classes as a result of that. At this time, we're just asking for another status setting so that we can speak with the state.
They'll explain right now to the call.
Mr. Camarena is in front of the court on the lobby screen.
Okay, I see him. Okay.
Is
say?
somebody explaining to Mr. Camarena what's going on since he can't hear?
Is there a
Mr.
deaf interpreter?
Camarena has his aunt who is with him, who is able to communicate what is happening right now in court. I believe she's in court with him in the lobby.
Yes. That is correct.
I'm here.
Okay.
Judge, if we could get the October setting on it, I didn't realize there was a disability issue, and so I'd like to try to see if we can potentially keep him on pretrial diversion, see what the problem was, and see if that's something that may be able to resolve this. But I'll need probably till October just for logistic purposes.
Okay, October or November?
The November date would probably be better if we could get that one.
How's November look?
We could give him the November 2nd date.
Will November 2nd work?
That's not a problem with us, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's reschedule that for November 2nd. That will give him plenty of time to go through the class.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He may be excused.
Oh, he may be excused. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Fonseca, I will be in touch with you later to discuss that further.
We have 2020 CCR 0182, the state of Texas versus Dolores Cantu.
Good morning, Your Honor. Travis Spence on behalf of my client, Ms. Cantu. Your Honor, I'm still in discussions with the state regarding resolution of this matter or if it's going to go to trial. And we're seeking a reset to continue these discussions.
Okay. State, what say you?
Judge, whenever Mr. Benson feels like how much time he needs, I know that my first assistant is handling this and she's in a trial in another county right now. So we would probably need at least 30 days or longer. I'm not sure what Mr. Benson is thinking of.
No objection, Your Honor.
Are we thinking November or October?
I would think October should be for a status. I think that at that point we'll know if it's going to be one that's going to need a trial setting.
I agree, Your Honor.
Okay, let's reschedule that for October.
October 6th.
Your Honor, that concludes my business for the Honorable Court. May my client and I be excused?
You may be excused. Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have 2020 CCR 0218, the state of Texas versus Ricardo Cantu Jr. This is a case that does have an attorney pro tem, and I don't believe the attorney pro tem is on the call at this time.
Okay, and this is for a status hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Ryan Solis for Mr. Cantu, Your Honor. We've recently learned of the attorney pro tem. I haven't had an opportunity to speak with him or her. We would be respectfully asking for a reset, Your Honor, so that we could speak to counsel on this matter.
Okay, reset for October?
That would be plenty of time, Judge.
October 6th, reset it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May he be excused.
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
(2021) CCR 0178, the state of Texas versus Mario Cantu Jr.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Cantu. He is on the call, Your Honor.
Hello.
This case is set for status. Your Honor, he has a related felony that's pending in district court. And we're asking for a reset to see if there's a way that we can coordinate with his attorney on that case and reach an agreement on both matters.
What say at the state?
Judge, not opposed to that. I don't know that we've had an opportunity to get all of the parties in the room at the same time to try to see if I imagine the felony may dispose of the misdemeanor.
Okay, let's reset that case. Is 30 days sufficient?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Collin?
That should be fine, Your Honor.
Okay, let's
What
reset.
date?
For,
I'm
let's
sorry, what date was
reset
that?
for October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Cantu be excused at this time?
He may be excused.
Thank you.
Uh, 2021 CCR 0073, the state of Texas versus Eric Cardenas Salomon, and 2021 CCR 0122 for the same defendant. Judge, I was waiting for an interpreter who was scheduled to be on at 9:30. I don't yet see him on.
Okay, Ernie Aranas here, Your Honor, for Mr. Cardenas. I am on the 0073 case. Mr. Reina is on the other case. For some reason, he was pointed to the other case. But if we're still a pending interpreter, what I can do, I can go take care of my business on the 138th and then come back, Your Honor. And that'll be okay.
How long will that be?
Probably be about 40 minutes, Your Honor. It's a contested temporary works hearing matter.
That'll be fine. Let's come back to this case then.
Perfect, Judge. Thank you. I'll
Okay, next case.
The next case is 2020 CCR 0095, the state of Texas versus Nareda, Cecilia Carrion.
Mr. Canales?
Judge, I see a message in the chat box from Mr. Canales's office that he is in front of Judge Crane in federal court at this time.
Okay, so it's probably impossible for him to be here.
I would agree.
Okay, we'll have to reset that case.
Could we get the either one, the September or October setting? And I believe Ms. Carrion is on. So as long as she's on, I don't think there'll be a problem.
Ms. Carrion, are you on? Ms. Carrion? I don't believe she's on the line at the moment. Ms. Carrion?
And Judge, I don't know if the bailiff called out her name 3 times. If he hasn't, then I'd ask that her name be called out 3 times.
Please call out the name 3 times. Jennifer, you're muted.
Yeah, the bailiff is actually going into the lobby to do so. And we do have the other, we do have an iPad set up over there where he can call out as well. I did call her name 3 times, Judge. She's not in the lobby and she's not on the call.
Judge, and I'm seeing some notes here that Mr. Canales had spoken to my one of my assistant prosecutors that he was going to be asking for a continuance. There's a co-defendant that, and I can't read my notes, the notes very well, but it's either Ms. Carrion or a co-defendant that was going to be having a medical procedure, and they reside together. So that could be why she's not on. I won't object to the whole case being reset, given that he had contacted my office and not asking for the KPS at this time.
Let's go ahead and reset this for 30 days, October 6th. That'll be a busy day for you, Jennifer.
It sure will. Next, I have 2021 CCR 0076, the state of Texas versus Joel Casas.
Mr. Blaylock?
Yes, good morning, Judge. On this case, I'm asking for a reset. I don't think the state's opposed to it.
We're not opposed to it, Judge.
Okay, let's go ahead and reset that for October 6th.
Judge, I have one other case near the end of your docket, and I'm currently on Zoom court in the 197th. Do you think I could jump ahead just a little?
That'll be fine. Which case is that?
It's Sanchez, and it's 18-0061.
And that's to the bottom of page 20, 2018 CCR 0061, the state of Texas versus Saul Sanchez.
Okay, and that's set for a status hearing.
Could I get the same date, Judge? On this one, he's got a felony pending. We're trying to work them all out together with the DA, but then COVID happened.
Yes, sir. And what say at the stake?
We're not opposed, Judge.
Okay, let's go ahead and reset. 30 days sufficient?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, October 6th.
I think that's all the business I have, Judge. Can I be excused then?
You may be excused.
Have a good day, sir.
I have 2021 CCR 0003, the state of Texas versus Christopher Justin Castillo.
Joseph Moreno with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. Judge, I heard him answer when his name was called earlier.
Okay, is he still here?
I'm not sure, Judge.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Judge, on this case, we're asking for another status setting. If we can get the October setting, Judge.
State's not opposed, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Gonzalez, what date's the best date?
October 6th is
October
the
6th.
reset date, yes.
Thank you, Judge. May Mr. Castillo be excused?
You may be excused. Thank you.
Judge, may I address the court, Judge?
Is this Mr. Canales?
Yes, Judge, I apologize. I was in a federal court right now, federal case with Judge Randy Crane. I'm about to go to live court across the street in another federal case with Judge Rolando Rodriguez, Judge. And I believe on the case of Nareda Carrion, I believe the court's already giving me reset to October the 6th.
Yes, sir.
All right, Judge, may I be excused, Your Honor?
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, I have the state of 2019 CCR 0172, the state of Texas versus Leo R. Cavazos, and he is in custody in the Willacy County Jail.
Okay. What page is that on?
The bottom of page 4.
And this is set for a status hearing. Do we have his attorney online?
It's listed as Texas Legal Aid, Rio Grande Legal Aid. I'm not sure which attorney.
Legal aid is listed as the attorneys for Mr. Cavazos, Judge, but I believe he hired counsel.
Ah.
Okay. Does counsel had notice of this hearing?
Let me double check, Judge. It looks like it was Mr. Blaylock, Judge, and I believe he just logged off.
Well, we missed one. Okay, let's reset that for October. I let them go.
Do you want to do the September setting since this defendant is in custody?
Oh, I'm sorry, September 8th. I lost track of the month for a moment there. Okay, next case.
Next case is 2019 CCR 0258, the state of Texas versus Rodolfo Chapa Jr.
Joseph Moreno with Texas River got the legal aid for Mr. Chapa, Your Honor. He is on the call.
Yeah, I'm here.
This is a case where he signed up with pretrial, with probation on the pretrial diversion program. I think we're just here for an admonishment, Judge.
Okay, and has he done what he was supposed to do under his orders?
He simply signed up. I believe it was this week, Judge.
Okay, he just signed up this week?
Yes, Judge. And
There's
typically,
problem with probation. He did sign up, Your Honor, unqualified.
Okay, well, let's get that done. You know, obviously the pretrial diversion program is an important program, but you know, without the cooperation of the defendant, the program doesn't work. Let's reset this for September 8th, and let's make sure he gets everything done.
Your Honor, I believe it's at least a 6-month program. I don't know if the court wants to give a farther, it may be a year. I think that the court wants to give a farther setting so that we can have a better idea of whether he's complying.
And Judge, usually in this case, once the defendants are admonished, we usually don't give it a reset date. The only time they ever get placed back on the docket is if they fail to comply.
Okay, let's let him comply with his terms and let probation take care of getting those to us in the event that he is not complied.
May Mr. Chapa be excused, Judge?
He may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Uh, 2021 CCR 0107, the state of Texas versus Rolando Chavarria. And I believe attorney Rick Gonzalez did file a notice of appearance into this case, and he did log back on.
Mr. Canales, are you here? I don't see Mr.
Canales. He's before the 197th right now.
Okay. Is he gonna be, how long is he gonna be in the 197? No response. Okay, state.
Judge, this is just an arraignment, so I'm not sure if he is able to, since he has counsel, he just needs to sign him up for arraignment. I imagine Mr. Chavarria is present. If the court
Mr.
is inclined to
Chavarria, are you
just reset
present?
it.
Yes. Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, and have you signed up with counsel, Mr. Canales?
Yes, I'm barely, yes, I just barely, I hired him barely.
Okay.
I wouldn't be opposed to a short reset, Judge, just to allow him the opportunity to either submit a waiver of arraignment or have him arraigned on the record when counsel's available.
Recess is granted. Only question is how long?
Do we have an arraignment date that's set in September?
Yes, we have a September 7th setting for arraignments, if we want to just go ahead and set it then.
Let's go ahead and set it for September 7th. We'll make it easy on everyone. You may be excused.
Thank you.
And just an announcement on 2020 CCR 0024, the state of Texas versus Cesar Daniel Chavez. There was a motion for continuance that was granted, and it is now set for pretrial on October 6th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Next, we have 2020 CCR 0143, the state of Texas versus Justin Conde, and 2020 CCR 0144 for the same defendant.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Conde. I do believe he's on the call, Your Honor.
Mr. Conde, are you on the call?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Hello?
the status hearing, where are we on this
Your
case?
Honor, we have agreed to plea on both of these cases, and we just need a brief reset so we can get him signed up.
Okay. Are you all in the same location?
No, well, he is,
Hard to tell on the screen.
no, Your Honor, we're remote right now.
Okay. You may have a short recess to,
Oh, Your Honor,
leave.
my apologies, not a recess, a reset if possible.
Okay. Oh, hence my question.
My
Okay,
apologies.
that's fine. Let's reset that case for the next possible date. I guess that'd be September 8th.
We're not opposed to that, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that okay, Jennifer?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Okay, we've reset it for September 8th,
Thank you.
and he may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
2021 CCR 0057, the state of Texas versus Eloisa de los Santos.
And this is a legal aid case again?
Yes, Your Honor. Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. De Los Santos. I do believe she called out earlier.
Ms. Santos, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Your Honor, in this case, we have reached out to the state. We are asking for a reset so that we can get an offer and see if we can work this case out.
That's correct, Your Honor. I think we probably would need the October setting though, just because we haven't actually talked about negotiated a plea.
Okay, October 6th?
Yes, sir.
October 6th it is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
May De Los Santos be excused?
She may be excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, 2018 CCR 0031, the state of Texas versus Roberto de los Santos. And also on the add-on docket, 2018 CCR 0120 for the same defendant.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. De Los Santos. He is on the call, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm having trouble finding on the page. De Los Santos. There we go. So I had this for a status hearing and a plea.
Your Honor, both of these cases should be good to go for pleas. We did get the paperwork over to the state and I believe it's been filed.
Okay, state. What say you?
That's correct, Judge. It should have been filed on Monday, August the 2nd. I'm not sure if you can see it on your screen.
Can't see it on the screen.
I can send that over to you, Judge, by email if you don't mind.
Yeah, that'd work. That's gonna be a plea in both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jennifer, I haven't received it. Did you send that to gperks at perkslaw.com?
Sending it over as we speak, Judge.
Okay.
Just as a matter of housekeeping, this plea is going to be for 60 days county jail and credit for time served. Is that one where he needs to present himself to the sheriff's office today?
He'll have to present himself, yes, to, if he already has the time, it'll be, and it's a book and release, he'll still have to be booked. And Judge, I did just send those over.
Just received them. Okay, and he's the present?
Mr. De Los Santos is present under, I believe it's Stephanie's iPad, but it is him on the
Yeah, I'm
screen.
here.
Okay. Mr. De Los Santos, as we have an opportunity to discuss the plea agreement with your attorney in each of the two cases.
Yes, sir.
And are you entering, do you understand what the plea agreements state?
Yes, sir.
And are you entering these plea agreements on your own volition? In other words, you're voluntarily entering these pleas?
Yes, sir.
And you've been admonished, you've been told that your attorney must mail a copy of the Court of Appeals judgment opinion to your last known address, and you only have 30 days to file a pro se petition for discretionary review in the Court of Appeals. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that if you wish to appeal the case and you're entitled to do so, it is my duty to inform your appellate attorney by written communication of any change in the address at which you're currently living or any change in your current prison, state jail, or county jail unit?
Yes.
And do you understand that because of the appellate timetables, if you failed to timely inform your appellate attorney of any change in the address, you may lose the opportunity to file a pro se petition for discretionary review? Do you
Yes, sir.
understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Mr. De Los Santos, after having had your federal and state constitutional and statutory rights fully explained to you by your attorney of record, as well as your procedural requirements, rights, and safeguards afforded to you by law of the state of Texas, including the privilege against self-incrimination, the right to appearance, confrontation, and cross-examination of witnesses to be used against you, and the right to trial by jury, deliberately and knowingly agrees and consents together with your counsel to waive appearance, confrontation, and cross-examine of witnesses against you, and further waives the right of trial by jury with the consent of the state, and asks that this court case be tried by, or these two cases be tried without a jury. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Have you ever been treated for mental illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody threatened you in any way, used any force of any kind upon you, or placed you in fear, and that you're pleading guilty because of fear?
Yes.
And has anyone promised you anything to induce you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
And you're pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
And you're not pleading guilty with any delusive hope of a pardon in this case? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
State, do we have any comment?
Your Honor, now that the defendant has pled guilty, I'd ask the court to follow the plea agreement, which is 60 days in the county jail, pay court costs and attorney's fees in both cause numbers 2018 CCR 0120 and 2018 CCR 0031, and offer states exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence, including that of waiver of 3914 disclosures by defendant, as well as compliance with 3914. His trial court certification of the defendant's right of appeal, and the joint request for plea and or sentencing by video conference under Article 27.18. And ask that those be admitted without objection.
Any objection from the defense?
Just want one point of clarification. I do apologize. My understanding is because we'll be running concurrently. Is there one set of court costs and attorney's fees for both cases? I just wanted to clarify that.
There will be one set of court costs.
Okay, in that case, no objections, Your Honor, and still stipulated.
Can we clarify which case will carry the court costs and attorney fees?
It would be the earlier of the two, 2018 CCR 0031.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the court finds.
Don't leave.
Hello.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm flicking back and forth between two screens. The court finds that the defendant is guilty and assesses punishment as set forth in each of the plea agreements as restated by the state. The court also finds that the court costs should be presented only in one case. I believe that's the 3-1 case.
That's correct, Judge.
Any other comment from the defendant or the state in this regard?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
As part of the plea, we're asking if the court would be willing to allow Mr. De Los Santos to report to the jail on Friday of this week.
That'd be acceptable.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And just for the record, Judge, it would be prior to 5 p.m. on Friday.
Mr.
Of this
Collins?
week.
No objections, Your
So
Honor.
it'll be prior to 5 p.m. on Friday.
That's fine with us, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. May Mr. De Los Santos be excused at this time?
He may be excused.
Thank you.
I have 2018 CCR 0216, the state of Texas versus Alvaro Diaz, and I believe he's in our lobby.
Daniel Canas with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Diaz, Your Honor.
Okay, this is a status hearing.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, I believe I have spoken with the state and we're asking for another status setting.
State, is that acceptable to you?
That's correct, Your Honor.
This is an older case, so we need to get this going.
Yes, Your Honor, understood.
Okay. Let's reset that for September 8th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
2018.
May he be excused for the day, sir?
May be excused.
Yeah.
2021 CCR 0010, the state of Texas versus Hilario Sanchez Dominguez.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Dominguez. Your Honor, he is on the call.
Mr. Dominguez, are you on the call?
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you. May proceed, Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Dominguez is set for a plea. We have sent the paperwork over to the state. I do believe it's been filed.
What saith the state?
Judge, we're getting the file. We have the plea papers in front of us. I think we just have to, they were e-filed on July the 30th on Friday.
Okay, are we ready to go forward on the plea?
The state is, Your Honor.
We are as well, Your Honor.
Let me get those to you, Judge.
Thank you.
That's it.
They should be there now, Judge.
I've received it. Thank you. Okay, and this is going to be a plea bargain where a defendant has no right to appeal. Does the defendant understand that?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity, Mr. Dominguez, to talk to your counsel about the plea?
Yes, sir.
And have you read the paper, the plea documentation, and signed your name to it?
I did. Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you been informed of your rights concerning an appeal of a criminal case, i.e. that you don't have a right to appeal?
Yes, sir.
And after having had your federal and constitutional and statutory rights fully explained to you by your attorney of record, as well as procedural requirements, rights, and safeguards afforded to you by the law of the state of Texas, including the privilege against self-incrimination, the right to appearance, confrontation, and cross-examination of witnesses if used against you, and the right to trial by jury deliberately and knowingly agree and consent together with your counsel to waive the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses against you in this cause, and you further waive the right to trial by jury with the consent of the state and ask that the case be tried before the court without a jury. Is that your understanding?
Yes, it is.
And are you entering this plea by your own volition? In other words, voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And you're voluntarily and freely pleading guilty as charged in the indictment in the case, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And have you ever been treated for mental illness, or has anybody suggested that you receive treatment for mental illness?
No, sir.
And you believe yourself to be mentally competent now and sane at the time of the commission of the offense, is that correct?
That's correct.
And no one has threatened you in any way, used any force of any kind upon you, or placed you in fear, and you're not pleading guilty because of fear. Is that correct?
That's correct.
No one has promised you anything to induce you to plead guilty. You're pleading guilty by reason of it. Not pleading guilty by reason of any persuasion. You're pleading guilty because you are guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, correct.
And you're not pleading guilty with any delusive hope of a pardon in this case. You have no hope of pardon. Do you understand?
I understand.
State, what saith you at this point?
Your Honor, in exchange for Mr. Dominguez's plea of guilty, we are asking that he be sentenced to 6 months in the county jail, probated for 1 year, and pay a fine of $50. My understanding is Mr. Dominguez is on disability, and anything other than that would be a bit of a hardship for him. In addition to that, we would offer States Exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence, including the compliance with 3914 and waiver of 3914 disclosures, the trial court certification of defendant's right to appeal, as well as the joint request for plea and sentencing by video conference under Article 2718, and ask that those be admitted without objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor, and we so stipulate.
Okay. On my plea agreement, it says, pardon me, Class B to misdemeanor confinement in a county jail for a term up to 180 days, in addition to a fine not to exceed $2,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that is the range of punishment.
Okay. And the state, in exchange for a plea guilty, defendants has sought to be sentenced to 6 months probated for 1 year and the payment of a fine of $50. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I so find that the defendant is guilty of the crime committed and that he's be sentenced to a period of 6 months, probated for 1 year with a fine of $50 to be paid within 30 days.
Your Honor, John Strada with probation. If we could have Mr. Dominguez come into our office to get processed for probation.
That'd be
Your Honor,
fine.
if I may.
We need you to come in today, Mr. Domingo.
Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
Well, Mr. Dominguez currently lives in Travis County, and we were going to request if probation would be willing to transfer his case over to Travis County.
We can do that, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's go ahead and transfer the probation then to Travis County.
Okay, Mr.
And Your Honor,
Dominguez,
Mr. Dominguez would, I
please call
apologize.
in.
Yes, Ms. Hinojosa?
Yes, Mr. Dominguez would be responsible for the fees associated with transferring the case to Travis County.
That is correct. Mr. Collin, is he willing to pay those fees?
I believe I've spoken with Mr. Dominguez about it. I do believe it's a fee of $50. I do not think Mr. Dominguez is opposed to that payment.
Okay.
Ms. Hinojosa, due to the nature of the offense, is there any classes that he needed to attend?
No, this was a open container violation.
Okay.
Anything further in this regard,
None, Your Honor, on our end.
counsel?
None on behalf of the state.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Next case.
May I be excused, sir?
Mr. Dominguez, you may be excused.
Thank you,
Ms.
sir.
Gonzalez, I believe you're on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
2020 CCR 0118, the state of Texas versus Priscilla Nicole Dominguez, and also case number 2020 CCR 0119 and 2020 CCR 0121 for the same defendant.
Same to you,
Yeah, so we
Your Honor. I
have three
represent
plea
Mr.
agreements today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Gonzalez, can you send me those plea agreements?
Let me double check if we have them on file already.
I just received them while we were in court, so I'm sure you don't have them because I haven't signed off on them.
Okay.
We just don't have them filed yet.
Right. So we have everything signed off except the state, and then we still need to e-file it. And I needed to make one correction on it, but I think we were going to make the correction here and then clarify it on the record.
Do we want to reset?
No, Judge, we wouldn't want to reset, but we would, if the court would keep it on call, once all that's done, we can stand ready to answer on the plea.
How does that sound, State? Ms.
We can
Hinojosa?
print it. We can definitely print it out, Judge, and send it. We'll have to e-file it, Jennifer. So I'm not sure how long that'll take, Judge, for them to accept it at the county clerk's office.
I can do it here from my computer. So once it's filed, I can just double check to make sure it's all correct, and then I'll email it over to the judge.
Okay.
And if we can just recall this case, Judge, or these three cases.
We'll recall these three cases.
Thank you,
later
Judge.
today. Thank you.
Uh, 2020 CCR 0080, the state of Texas versus Francisco Elizondo Jr., and also 2020 CCR 0081 for the same defendant.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande Legal Lay for Mr. Elizondo. I thought he responded when his name was called earlier, Judge. I'm not sure that.
Mr. Elizondo, are you online?
According to our bailiff judge, he did not respond this morning when his name was called.
I apologize.
Judge, if we could recall that, I need to reach out to Mr. Moreno's office on that. And I just rather not do it on the record, but if we could recall that one.
Okay, we'll recall that later this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that'll be for both cases.
(2021) CCR 0046, the state of Texas versus Randy Joseph Erickson.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande Legal Lay for Mr. Erickson.
Is Mr. Erickson online?
I'm not sure, Judge.
Mr. Erickson? Mr. Erickson, are you online?
I'm gonna double check to see if he might be in the lobby, Judge. His name was called 3 times, Judge, no answer.
Okay, we can reset or seek Mr. Erickson.
I wouldn't be opposed to a reset, Judge.
Judge, I would rather if we can maybe recall it at the end of the docket to determine if he is able to log in, and if not, then the state would likely ask for a KPS to be issued.
So granted, let's recall it at the end of the docket.
Sure. Your Honor, before the court moves on, I've gotten a text message from Francisco Elizondo, the cases that the court just called. He says that he's on. I imagine he simply either can't hear or can't respond.
I don't show them on my name, on any names in my screens. Let's hang also with you. How would you like to handle that? You still want to recall at the end of the day?
I'll give him a call, Judge, and see if I can figure out what's going on with his audio. I suppose we can still recall it.
Okay.
Is this, I'm sorry, is this from Mr. Elizondo or Mr. Erickson?
Mr.
Elizondo. Mr. Erickson didn't respond, and the court indicated that it would recall Mr. Erickson's case. So I before the court moved on, I asked it to address Mr. Elizondo's situation.
Okay, I'm not opposed to resetting Mr. Elizondo's case to a status setting, Judge, whenever the court prefers.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move Mr. Elizondo's cases. I'm sorry, did I jump to Erickson accidentally?
No, Judge, I asked the court to go back to Mr. Elizondo.
Elizondo, okay. Let's go ahead and reset the two cases against Francisco Elizondo Jr. to, should we do September 8th or October 6th?
I think October 6th, Judge, so we can continue to confirm with the state.
That would work, Judge.
Okay, October 6th, the case is reset.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Erickson?
Mr. Erickson didn't respond, Judge, and we're going to recall it at the end of the docket.
Okay.
We're at the top of page 8 now. 2021 CCR 0106, the state of Texas versus Brendan Angel Flores.
This is an arraignment. Is Mr. Flores online? Is he represented by counsel? I don't have anybody representing my counsel on my sheet.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. I do represent Mr. Flores.
Okay. Will he be waiving his arraignment?
At this time, Your Honor, I am not sure. I do not know. I have not been able to contact him.
Okay. And is he online? Mr. Flores, are you online? Mr. Flores? Mr. Flores? Ms. Gonzalez, you're muted again.
I was speaking to the bailiff just to double check, and the bailiff did confirm that he did not respond this morning when he was called.
Okay. Do we want to send a capias out for Mr. Flores state?
Your Honor, the state would ask that a capias be issued. Judgment NISI in favor of the state, that the bond be forfeited and a no bond be set once he is found.
Any
Your Honor,
comment,
if I
Mr.
may.
Collin?
Your Honor, I would not be opposed to recalling this case at the end of the docket, just so we can have one last chance to reach out to him and see if he can come.
Okay, let's recall it at the end of the docket. Give him one more chance. Thank you. Next case. Ms. Gonzalez, you're muted.
2019 CCR 0248, the state of Texas versus Cruz Flores.
Who's here from legal aid for Mr. Flores?
I'm going to ask the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Flores, Your Honor. Mr. Flores has been at a mental health facility out of state for the last several months. The last few times that he has been on the docket, the facility has been unable to get him on for the docket call. I do not know if he is on the call this morning.
Mr. Flores, are you on the call this morning? Mr. Flores? Mr. Flores, are you on the call? Ms. Gonzalez, would you have the bailiff check in the hall?
Let him know. He's been called 3 times, Judge, no answer.
State, how would you like to proceed?
Judge, given his perhaps inability to even understand if he's been in a mental health facility, I'd rather reset this to maybe October, get something from the facility he's in indicating his perhaps level of competence, or just some information on whether or not he can participate in these proceedings. And then the state will be able to know. We may be making a decision that's dispositive of this case at that time.
Okay, September 8th or October 6th? How much time do you need?
I'd rather have the October 6th only since he's out of state.
October 6th it is.
Thank you.
Case is set to reset to October 6th.
Two 2018 CCR 0149, the state of Texas versus Dario Christian Flores.
Mr.
Good morning,
Lemus,
Your
are you
Honor.
online?
Mr. Flores, he's present, Your Honor. There is a plea agreement on file.
Okay, are we gonna hear the plea agreement today?
We're ready, Your Honor.
I'll send that over right now, Judge.
Thank you. Excuse me.
I just sent it over, Judge.
Okay, and is Mr. Flores online?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Flores, we've been made aware of a plea agreement in your case. Have you reviewed the plea agreement with your attorney?
Correct, sir.
And you understand in this particular plea bargain case, you have no right to appeal. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Flores, by having had your federal constitutional statutory rights fully explained to you by your attorney of record in this case, as well as procedural requirements, rights, and safeguards afforded to you by laws of the state of Texas, including the privilege against self-incrimination, the right to appearance, confrontation, and cross-examinations to be used against you, and the right to trial by jury. Do you deliberately and unknowingly agree and consent together with your counsel to waive the appearance, confrontation, and cross-examination of witnesses against you, and further waive your right to trial by jury with the consent of the state?
Yes, sir.
And you
Yes,
ask
sir.
the case be tried without a jury. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been treated for mental illness, or has anyone told you that you should receive mental treatment for mental illness?
No, sir.
And do you believe yourself to be mentally competent now at the time of the commission of the offense?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone threatened you in any way, used any force of any kind against you, or placed you in fear and regarding this case?
No, sir.
And you're not pleading guilty because of fear, correct?
No, sir.
No one has promised you anything to induce you to plead guilty, and you're not pleading guilty by reason of any persuasion. You're only pleading guilty because you are guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're not pleading guilty because of any delusive hope of any pardon in this case. You have no hope of pardon. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
State would say it.
Your Honor, in light of the guilty plea, we'd ask the court to follow the plea agreement that has been reached by the state, which is 6 months county jail, probated for 1 year. In addition to that, payment of court costs, a fine of $250, a donation fee of $150 to Boy Scouts of America, Troop 440, 60 hours of community service to be completed at 5 hours a month, alcohol and drug evaluation, random UAs, and defendant pay for the cost of testing, in addition to all standard conditions of probation. With that, the state would offer states exhibits 1, 2, 3 into evidence, which is the compliance with 3914 and waiver of 3914 disclosures by defendant, the trial court certification, a defendant's right of appeal. In addition to that, the joint request for plea and or sentencing by video conference under Article 2718, and ask that those be admitted without objection.
No objection, Your Honor. That is the plea agreement.
The exhibits are accepted. The plea agreement is accepted. The defendant is found guilty and will serve 6 months in county jail, probated for 1 year, with a fine of $250 and a donation fee of $150 to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop 440. CSR, 60 hours to be completed within 5 hours or 5 months. That should be 5 months. Alcohol, drug testing, and counseling, all standard conditions of probation be set. Random UAs and costs for testing be set. I believe that's it.
John Estrada with probation. Mr. Flores, if you can come in for processing to our office today, please.
I'm sorry? Tomorrow, can I make it in tomorrow? Because I get out of work tomorrow at 4, and I go into work in a little while at 12 or now.
We close our office by 5 o'clock, so we would probably need you to come in probably right now then before you go to work.
Well, it says right now I'm without a vehicle at the moment.
He lives in Harlingen, Your Honor. Is it possible for him to try to go in tomorrow, or at least make plans with his boss so he can go in tomorrow?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's make sure we get in tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
(2019) CCR 0246, the state of Texas versus Marcella Flores.
Then I did ask the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Flores, Your Honor. I do believe she's on the call this morning.
Ms. Flores, are you on the call?
Yes, ma'am, I'm right here.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm right here.
Your Honor, in this case, we are asking for announcement and trial setting, sir.
October 6th for pretrial, October 12th for trial.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Ms. Flores be excused for today, sir?
Ma'am, one more thing, Brandon Flores just sent a message to everybody's phone that he's online.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
May I be
Ms. Flores be excused, sir?
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Mom.
Next case.
2020 CCR 0158, the state of Texas versus Gilbert Guyardo.
I'm here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Guyardo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Gustavo?
I'm here, Judge.
What saith you?
There you go. How are you, Your Honor? I represent
fine.
Mr. Guyardo. Judge, on this case, Mr. Guyardo has been denied PTD by the DA's office. I'm still in talks with them on a plea. I think if we're given another 2 weeks or so, Judge, I should be able to get all the plea paperwork turned in. I just need to speak with the DA about a potential plea to deferred adjudication. I know we were in discussions on that, with this being something that may qualify under the new law that allows deferred on DWIs. So I'm just asking for another couple of weeks to get that done, Judge.
If we could just get the
Yeah.
October setting on this one, Judge, I think that would give us enough time, if that's okay with Mr. Elizondo.
That's fine with me, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll put that on the October 6th setting.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. And Ms. Hinojosa, I'll reach out to you about that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
2020 CCR 0215, the state of Texas versus Andres Galvan, and also 2020 CCR 0216, 2020 CCR 0217, 2021 CCR 0009, and 2021 CCR 0017, all for the same defendant.
And I did ask the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Galvan, Your Honor. I do believe he's on the call this morning.
Yes, I'm here.
Your Honor, in this case, we do have an offer from the state. I believe we're close to working out the cases. If I could have one more status setting to work out the details of the plea.
And Judge, I would just ask for maybe the October setting, just because there's so many cases, just to give us enough time.
Only 5 cases. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's move that to the October setting of October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Galvan be excused for today, sir?
You may be excused.
All right, thank you.
2021 CCR 0050, the state of Texas versus Monica Irene Galvan.
Can ask the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Galvan, Your Honor. I do believe she's on the call this morning.
Ms.
Yes,
Galvan,
I'm
you
here.
on the call?
Your
I'm
Honor, this
here.
is a relatively new case. I believe she was just arraigned last month. If I could ask the court for one more status to try to work it out with the state.
We're not objecting to that, Judge. I believe that that had already been preliminary discussed.
Okay, October 6th or September 8th?
Thank you, Your Honor. May Ms. Galvan be excused for today, sir?
Hold on one moment. I
What was
was
the date?
asking which date.
My apologies.
You can do
30
the-
days or 60 days?
I think the October 6th date would be better, Judge.
Okay, October 6th it is.
Thank you, sir. May she be excused for today?
She may be excused.
Thank you.
2021 CCR 0012, the state of Texas versus Crystal V. Gomez.
And I can ask the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Gomez, Your Honor. I do believe she's on the call this morning.
I am.
This case is currently set for pretrial this morning, Your Honor. However, I have discussed it with the state and would be asking for another pretrial and trial date.
Ms. Giannosa?
That's correct, Judge. I believe we had discussed about resetting this.
Okay, is that agreeable to the state?
Yes, Your Honor. And on this one, I would ask for the, since it's a 2021 case, if we could get the November trial setting.
Ms. Gonzalez, how are we doing November?
That's fine. We can do November 2nd for pretrial, November 3rd for trial.
Your Honor, may Ms. Gomez be excused for today, sir?
Yes, so November 2nd for pretrial, November 3rd for trial.
That's correct, Judge.
That's confirmed. Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you.
(2021) CCR 0015, the state of Texas versus Adolfo Garza Jr., and also 2021 CCR 0016 for the same defendant.
And I can ask the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Adolfo Garza, Your Honor. My understanding is that he had difficulty getting onto the Zoom call with video, but he is on via phone.
Mr. Clark, are you on the phone?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. My app was acting up. I don't know what was going on with it, but I called the county clerk and they gave me the number to the meeting and everything, like to the phone. So I'm on the phone app. I'm on the phone. So I'm sorry.
Okay, and this is a status hearing? Ms.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, I believe that we are close to reaching an agreement with the state. I am just waiting on confirmation. If I could ask for one more status setting to try to work out the case.
And we're not opposed, Judge. I'll defer to the court on a September or October setting.
We'll do the October 6th setting.
October 6th.
May Mr. Garza be excused for today, sir?
You may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
(2021) CCR 0014, the state of Texas versus Rudy Garza, and he is in our lobby.
And I can ask for Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Rudy Garza, Your Honor. This case is set for a status this morning. If I could ask the court for one more status setting to try to work it out with the state.
Ms. Giannosa?
I'm not opposed to that, Judge.
October 6th?
October 6th. Yes.
October 6th.
Your Honor, may Mr. Garza be excused for today, sir?
You may be excused. Thank you.
(2020) CCR 0194, the state of Texas versus Martin Gonzalez, and also 2020 CCR 0200 for the same defendant.
And I can ask for Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Gonzalez, Your Honor. I believe he's on the call this morning.
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Can you
in
hear
this
me?
case, yes, sir. In this case, Your Honor, we are, yes, sir. On this case, Your Honor, we are set for a status. Mr. Gonzalez has 2 pending cases still at intake. I believe Mr. Mattingly, the prosecutor that's handling these cases, is in communication with the law enforcement agency. We are trying to work everything out together. If I could ask the court for one more status so that we have an opportunity to look at the new cases as well.
And Judge, I'm not opposed to that. I would ask for the November setting, just so that we have enough time to either file these, set them for arraignment, and then get them all on the same schedule docket.
November 2nd, would be the date.
So that'd be November
Your
2nd.
Honor. May Mr. Gonzalez be excused for today, sir?
You may be excused.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Uh, 2021 CCR 0002, the state of Texas versus Hilario Guajardo.
Joseph Moreno with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid from Mr. Hilario Guajardo. Judge, he is on the call. I saw him on earlier.
Mr. Guajardo, are you on the phone?
I'm his daughter. Give me 1 second. Let me go after him. I have him outside as I tested positive for COVID. I'm the only one that am able to help him, but let me go outside. Our app wasn't working for the mute, but give me 1 second. I can take the phone to him.
Your Honor, before she goes out to the phone to him, she did say she tested positive for COVID and he's outside. I asked that she not give him the phone. I'd asked that the court reset this case to October so I can figure out what's going on.
Ms. Cinelos, do you have a problem with that?
I'm not opposed to that, Judge.
Let's reset this to October.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
COVID.
Thank you.
Maybe
October 6th, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
October 6th.
October 6th.
Thank you, Judge.
2020 CCR 0097, the state of Texas versus Reyes Guerra.
Mr. Canales, are you on the phone?
Judge, I know Mr. Canales had come back on from federal court, and I believe he was going back into the 197th. We prematurely, I think, gave him October 6 dates, but I don't know if he was going to come back on. If we can maybe just recall this at the end of the docket.
Let's recall. See if he comes back. Because it seemed like he was going to another trial court at this time as well.
2020 CCR 0147, the state of Texas versus Moises Oleda Gutierrez.
Those are Moreno, Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid for Mr. Gutierrez, Your Honor.
Okay, sir.
He's on the phone, Judge. I think we're going to work this case out. Judge, asked for the October setting for a status.
We're not opposed, Judge.
Okay, let's reset this case then for October 6th.
Thank you, Judge. May Mr. Gutierrez be excused?
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
(2021) CCR 0091, the state of Texas versus Rene Gutierrez.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Gutierrez. I do believe he's on the call, Your Honor.
Mr. Gutierrez, are you on the call? Mr. Gutierrez?
And Judge, the bailiff did confirm that he did not respond this morning when he was called.
State how you like to proceed.
Your Honor.
Judge, I see somebody logged in under Rini G.
Yeah.
All I see is a tin roof, so I can't tell if that's him or not. He's moving it now, so I don't know if that's
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Gutierrez.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, in my notes indicated that Mr. Collins had talked to my assistant prosecutor that he would need some more time. And there's a felony case pending, so it may all be resolved with the felony case. I'm not opposed to the additional time.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Do you like an October 6th or November 2nd setting?
I would prefer the November date since he has a felony. We may be able to work out the felony and dispose of this at that time.
Okay, so this case will be rescheduled for November 2nd.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Your Honor.
You may be excused.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Your
you,
Honor,
sir.
if I may, I would ask if we can take one case out of order right now. Mr. Adan Salinas, he is on the call and he has informed me that he's going to have some technical difficulties and may not be able to stay on the call. If we could call his case now, Your Honor.
That would be fine.
Okay, he's in on page 19, 2020 CCR 0207, the state of Texas versus Adan Salinas Jr.
Your Honor, in Mr. Salinas's case, we are currently set for a pretrial and trial date. We believe that the state will be unavailable on this case. We're asking for the next pretrial and trial dates.
That's correct, Your Honor. My prosecutor is currently in another trial in district court and is unavailable to pursue it at this time. But if we could get the October date on this one or December date, she's also going to be out on maternity leave pretty soon. So the December date is preferred if with the court's permission.
What do we have in December, Ms. Gonzalez?
We don't have a trial date in December. We do have a status date in December, however. I don't know if you just want it for status or if you want the trial date, we can give it the November dates. And I don't have anything yet for 2022.
If we could just get maybe a status, Judge, and just give us an opportunity to see what we can do with it between now and then.
Okay.
Did
Status.
you want the December
or
status?
November?
The status in December, if that's okay with Mr. Collins. Mr.
Is that okay,
Collins.
Mr. Collins?
Your Honor, we would just like to ask that, we would just like to say that we could be ready for this week, but we are not opposed to a December setting.
Well, this would be a December status, not a December setting.
We are not opposed to that at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. So the case is pushed to December for a status hearing.
That's December 8th.
December 8th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
May Ms. Salinas be excused at this time?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
We're back on page 12, 2019 CCR 0068, the state of Texas versus Angelina Rose Hamilton, and also 2019 CCR 0104, 2019 CCR 0105, 2020 CCR 0007, and 2020 CCR 0008. And I do have a note that she is in custody in the Willacy County Jail.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. On behalf of Ms. Hamilton, she is in custody and she's on the screen, Your Honor.
Okay.
These cases are all set for status. There are 3 motions to revoke and 2 cases that have just been recently arraigned. We have started speaking with the state, but we're going to need more time to coordinate. So if Your Honor isn't opposed to a brief reset, we are asking for September in this case, just because she is in custody.
I'm not opposed to that, Judge. I think we definitely need to try and work this one out and see where it's going.
Okay. Let's move this to September 8th.
Thank you, Your Honor. Name is
And you
Hamilton.
may be excused.
Thank you.
2019 CCR 0152, the state of Texas versus Clarissa Hernandez.
Mr. Solis, are you here?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, Ryan Solis for Hernandez. Your Honor, Mrs. Hernandez has a pending felony that I don't represent her on. The agreement that we've got with the state is that once that case is resolved, that this misdemeanor will be dismissed. And so that's essentially what we're waiting on there, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor. If we could just get another status in October, I think by then we should hopefully have everything taken care of.
Will October 6th work, Ms. Gonzalez?
That's fine, Judge.
That's fine with me, Your Honor. Yes, thank you.
Okay, October 6th, the case will be reset to.
Thank you. May she be excused?
May be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
2019 CCR 0245, the state of Texas versus Alejandro Herrera. And there is a plea ready that's already been sent over to you, Judge.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande Legal Lay for Mr. Herrera, Your Honor. He is on the call. I have had multiple calls with him trying to get him to understand how to unmute his phone and how to have sound and respond. I have not had any success in that. His screen, he's on the screen and his phone is U30488. He is there. And it appears that he still has not been able to figure out how to unmute his phone, Judge, or how to respond or how to be able to hear anything. I see him, looks like he said something.
Yeah, I obviously need to hear his voice.
Yes,
and have
Judge.
it on the recording.
I show that he's not connected to audio at all, which I know usually they connect right when the Zoom call starts. They're able to connect to audio. I don't know if maybe that was the issue, that he just didn't connect.
We've tried that, Judge. I've tried to explain that to him. I've even set up a Zoom call with him where I tried to have him call in addition to being on the Zoom call, and he was able to call in, just not able to unmute himself on the phone call. So I'm not sure how else to resolve it. I've asked him to appear in person. Unfortunately, Judge, he doesn't have a car and he lives in Hidalgo County. So he would have to ride his bike to Raymondville to enter a plea.
Oh my God.
I would ask the court to consider setting this case for September so that he can appear in person and enter a plea, Judge. It is a time served deal. He has the time served. He will have to turn himself in after the plea and be in process and not processed.
Judge, given that it's going to be a time case and he's going to have to be over here anyway, I just asked that this be set for the next setting and that it have to be in person. So that way he can be in the lobby, take care of what he needs to take care of without any delay.
I agree. But let's reset this to September 8th. It'll be an in-person proceeding.
Thank you, Judge. I will give him a call and let him know.
Thank you. He may be excused. Ian, delay that.
Thank you, Judge.
Next case.
2020 CCR 0106, the state of Texas versus Raul Jr. Hinojosa.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Solis for Mr. Hinojosa. Your Honor, I've recently met with Mrs. Annette Hinojosa, the district attorney on this matter, and she's extended an offer. However, I have not had an opportunity to meet with Mr. Hinojosa to go over this. So I would respectfully ask for a short reset to give me that opportunity to see if we can resolve this matter, Judge.
That's correct, Your Honor, and that is correct, Your Honor, and just for the record, there's no relation between myself and the defendant.
Good to know. Okay. September 8th or October? It seems like October would be a better date.
That's fine, Your Honor. October would be fine.
Okay, October 6th it is.
Thank you. May he be excused, Judge.
You may be excused.
Thank you.
2019 CCR 0238, the state of Texas versus Raul Alfredo Jimenez.
Morning, Your Honor. Ryan for Mr. Jimenez. The same announcement on this one. This is another case that I met with Mrs. Hinojosa on, and the offer's been extended, and I just need to meet with Mr. Jimenez, excuse me, on this one, Judge.
That's correct, Your Honor. if we could get that same October 6th date, I think we may be able to work both of these cases out on the same date.
Okay. Case is reset to October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May he be excused, Judge.
Y'all may be excused.
Thanks.
2020 CCR 0056, the state of Texas versus Stephen Ray Lara.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Solis for Mr. Lara. This is another one I met with Ms. Hinojosa on, Your Honor. I believe we've got she's proposed an offer on this one that may completely be dispositive of this. We just need to coordinate with Mr. Lara and a co-defendant, Your Honor.
That's correct, Judge. This is I believe a father and son, and Mr. Lara Jr., which is the next two cases, 2022 CCR 0055 and 2020 CCR 0067 is set for pretrial, though I believe Mr. Alanis, I see him on, was going to request additional time. So we were, I believe, looking at October dates on this one, Judge.
You want October pretrial or October status?
If we could get a status, Your Honor, I believe I can work it out. Mr. Solis represents Dad, and I've been talking to Ms. Nareda from the state, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to either accept responsibility and exonerate Dad, or something of that matter, sir.
That's what we're looking at, Judge. So I think the October 6th date status would work if the docket's not too big already.
That's fine. We'll go with the October 6th date.
Okay, so that'll be actually for all three cases, which includes 2020 CCR-00055, the state of Texas versus Stephen Ray Lara Jr., and 2020 CCR-0067, state of Texas versus Stephen Ray Lara Jr. All three cases are reset till October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Next case.
2021 CCR 0004, the state of Texas versus Christina Ledesma.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Ledesma. I do believe she's on the call, Your Honor.
Ms. Ledesma, are you on the call?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Be a
Your
status
Honor.
hearing, Mr. Collin?
Yes, Your Honor, this case is set for status. I do believe we just got the plea paperwork in this morning.
I believe we just e-filed it, Jennifer, so you might have it already. But we did plea this one out this morning, Judge.
I don't see it in my queue yet, but it may take several minutes for it to appear. I don't know if we want to recall this case later down the line.
If we could recall it, Judge.
Let's recall it down the line.
I don't know.
2019 CCR 0046, the state of Texas versus Kayla Ray Magana.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Solis for Ms. Magana. Met with Mrs. Hinojosa on this one, and depending upon the outcome of a co-defendant's case, this case actually might get dismissed, Your Honor. So respectfully, we would ask for just a short reset to see exactly what happens with the co-defendant's case, Judge.
That's correct, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Ms. Hinojosa.
That's correct, Judge. We did extend an offer. I think we're taking it off of the trial docket and trying to put on the status docket, just so long as we take care of the co-defendant. And it's
Okay, let's move this to the status docket for a status hearing on October 6th.
Yeah. May she be excused, Judge.
You may be excused.
Thank you.
2018 CCR 0146, the state of Texas versus Gilberto Mata.
Perkes with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Mata, Your Honor. I do believe he's on the call this morning.
Mr. Mata, are you on the call?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, this case is set for a motion to revoke this morning. However, I had previously spoken with the prosecutor's office, and at this time, I would ask for another hearing date.
That's correct, Judge. That's my prosecutor's in trial today, so she had agreed to allow additional time and agreed to pass this for the next setting.
Okay, it's 2018 case, so let's get this tried. What's the next setting available?
We can set it for the October 6th setting.
And it is set for a motion to revoke, so we may need enough time for a short hearing.
Okay. So this will be set for a motion to revoke on October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Mehta be excused for today, sir?
You may be excused.
Thank you.
2021 CCR 0121, the state of Texas versus Jose Feliciano Mata.
Is he represented by counsel?
As of this morning, Judge, I had not seen any sort of representation made.
Okay. So this
I
is
don't
for
know if
Friday.
he's on or if his name has been called out 3 times already. I know that Sergeant Skaggs had called out names already.
Mr. Mata, are you on the line? Mr. Mata? Jose Feliciano Mata.
You're gonna double check the lobby, Judge.
Thank you.
They called his name 3 times, Judge, no answer.
State, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I'd ask that a KPS be issued, the bond be forfeited, a no bond be set when he is found, and a judgment nisi in favor of the state.
So ordered. I think you're muted again. There you go.
2019 CCR 0233, State of Texas versus Jonathan Alfonso Moreno. And this is one of Mr. Robert Flores' cases, Judge, that we're going to reset to October 6th.
Okay. Let's reset the case.
Is Mr. Moreno on? I just want to make sure, or somebody from Mr. Flores' staff. I guess we already had made the announcement that they would all be on the same date. Is that correct, Jennifer?
Right. I think that's
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
2021 CCR 0028, the State of Texas versus Katie Marie Moreno, and also 2021 CCR 0089, 2021 CCR 0090, and 2021 CCR 0110, all for the same defendant.
That's for Texas River and Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Moreno, Your Honor. Ms. Moreno has been recently arraigned on felonies last month. I have spoken to the prosecutor handling her case, and at this time, I would ask for another status setting to try to work out all of her cases together.
If we could get the November setting, Judge, just because I think the felony is going to dispose of many of these. Hopefully, if we have an offer, it would likely dispose of these misdemeanors.
Ms. Hakanas, is November setting sufficient?
That is fine with me, Your Honor.
This case is then reset for November 2nd.
Thank you, Your Honor. May she be excused for today?
She may be excused.
Thank you.
2018 CCR 0023, the State of Texas versus Carlos Solis Munoz, and also 2018 CCR 0024, 2018 CCR 0025, and 2018 CCR 0026, all for the same defendant.
Do we have someone from Legal Aid?
Your Honor, although the docket shows that legal aid is on the case, I don't show him as our client. I believe that we closed the case out in our system. I don't know if he hired private counsel.
Do we know if private counsel was served?
Let me double check, Judge. I don't show that any private counsel has made an appearance in this case at this time.
State, how would you like to proceed?
Judge, ordinarily, if Mr. Munoz is needing an attorney, typically legal aid will do the paperwork to see if he qualifies and then go from there. But I don't know if he's asking for a public defender or if he's going to hire his own attorney.
Yeah. Hello. Yes, may I speak, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, sir, Judge. I had hired Mr. John Baylock. He's supposed to be on the same page, but the chief called him earlier on some other cases. Apparently, he was having trouble getting into the Zoom. It kept logging him out, but he's already been paid for. He should have already been set for today's date.
Okay, can we send note on the record the name of the attorney?
Mr. John Baylock.
And let's reset this case for October's, well, you're in custody, right? Let's reset this case for September if we can, Jennifer.
We'll do the September 8th setting.
Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
(2016) CCR 0140, the state of Texas versus Priscilla Nájera, and also 2016 CCR 0141 for the same defendant. This is also one that has an attorney pro tem who I'm not sure is present this morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Solis for Mrs. Nájera. Your Honor, this is a 2016 case. Obviously, it's an old one. She's had some pretty serious felonies. We've carried along these misdemeanors for some time now. However, just recently, this case was transferred to Cameron County. The district attorney over there went ahead and dismissed the charges against her. And so my conversations with the prosecutors over there were that these cases would likely be dismissed in short time as well, Your Honor. And so that's essentially all that we're waiting on right now.
Ms. Hinojosa?
Judge, my office was conflicted out, and so the Cameron County District Attorney's Office was appointed attorney pro tem. I would defer to whatever Mr. Solis has represented to the court, but I'm not involved in this one.
Your Honor, respectfully, I would just ask if we can get maybe a 30-day, perhaps even a 60-day reset so that I can follow up with them and check the status of these pending dismissals, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead and reset for October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court. May I be excused, Your Honor?
You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
(2020) CCR 0210, the state of Texas versus Felipe Olivares Jr., and also 2020 CCR 0211 for the same defendant.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande legal aid for Mr. Olivares. Judge, he is on the call.
Mr. Olivares?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, on this case, we're asking for the October 6th setting so that we can continue to talk to the state about these cases.
I'm not opposed, Your Honor.
And for the record, Judge, a waiver of arraignment was filed in the 0211 case. It was a case that was accidentally left off the docket, so they did file a waiver of arraignment.
Thank you. How was the October 6th docket looking?
It's getting a little full now, so we may have to defer to the November 2nd setting.
Thank you. Is November 2nd okay with everyone?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's go ahead and move that to November 2nd.
Thank you, Judge. May Mr. Olivares be excused?
You may be excused.
Thank you.
2018 CCR 0131, the state of Texas versus Carla Ordonez, AKA Carla Ordonez with a C. I do believe she is in custody, Judge. And this is one of Mr. Flores' cases. However, he did file a motion for withdrawal as counsel that has yet to be granted or denied.
Okay, is there a way to see the motion of withdrawal as counsel?
I'll go ahead and send that over to
this
you.
morning?
I'm sorry?
Has that been set for hearing this morning?
Yes, it has.
Okay. And is it possible for me to see the motion to withdraw?
Yes, sir. Let me send it over to you really quickly.
Thank you.
I sent it over, Judge.
Thank you. I'm reading it now. Mr. Ordonez, or excuse me, Ms. Ordonez, have you received notice of this motion to withdraw?
No, sir. What does that mean? What does that mean? I should have tried.
Is Ms. Ordonez on the phone?
She's in the county jail, Judge.
Oh, okay, there we go. I'm sorry, I couldn't see her. Too many screens. Okay, and Ms. Ordonez, did you see this motion to withdraw from your counsel?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grant that motion today. Are you going to need additional counsel from legal aid or otherwise?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, if Mr. Flores was appointed, it's likely that legal aid had a conflict, and that's why Mr. Flores was appointed.
Mr. Flores was employed in this case, Judge.
We would have to interview her, Judge. We would ask that the court reset this case maybe to September so that we can have a chance to interview her and see if she qualifies for our services.
That'll be fine. Let's reschedule this one for September 8th. She may be excused.
2021 CCR 0001, the state of Texas versus Diana Peña, and a waiver of arraignment was filed. An order was granted and it was set for status for October 6th.
Okay. Next case.
2021 CCR 0120, the state of Texas versus Eliodoro Perales Jr., and a waiver of arraignment was filed by legal aid in this case.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande legal aid for Mr. Pedro Eliodoro Perales, Judge. We did file a waiver. I believe he has a case on the add-on docket. Unless this is the only one he's got. We're asking for, I suppose, the November 2nd setting, Judge.
He doesn't have a case on the add-on docket, but I do know that he does have another pending case in the court.
Yes.
I'm not sure what the date is on that case, but we can set it with that case.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. May Mr. Perales be excused?
What date is the new date?
I'm not sure on the date, but I will let council know once I'm able to confirm the date of the other pending case.
Okay, thank you. You may be excused.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And on the next case, an announcement, 2020 CCR 0139, the state of Texas versus Brandon Anthony Ramirez. There was a motion for continuance granted, and it is now set for pretrial on September 8th at 9 a.m.
Okay,
2020 CCR 0013, the state of Texas versus Jeronimo Emiliano Rodriguez.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Bureau, got to leave late for Mr. Rodriguez, Judge.
is Mr. Rodriguez here?
He is on the call, Judge.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is a case where the state had offered pretrial diversion. The state agreed to extend the deadline, I believe, to tomorrow. Mr. Rodriguez had indicated he was going to sign up for the pretrial diversion program. However, he had more questions about the program than I could answer. I told him that probation would be happy to answer all those questions for him. But he still wants some answers before he signs up on the program. I'm not sure whether we should proceed at this time or whether he wants to get this case reset, Judge.
Judge, we can extend that deadline to sign up for pretrial diversion until August the 31st, and hopefully that'll give him enough time to answer some questions. And at that point, we'll know what direction we're going, if that would help.
Will that be sufficient, Mr. Moreno?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. Mr. Rodriguez had indicated he wanted to address the court.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, sir. I'm right now, like, I do want to sign up for that, right? I just want some questions answered. Well, really, what I wanted to know was, like, what could I, like, if I, in exchange for a plea, could I use my time that I did serve in jail, like time served, and then pay like the fees to you guys instead of doing all of this,
Your Honor,
probation?
I've answered that question for him, and he knows that it's either a time deal or a probation deal, Judge. So my last indication was that he wanted to sign up for the pretrial diversion.
Okay.
I just wanted to know how many days I would get, I guess, right? And kind of like decide which one would work better, because I don't live in that county and I live 2 hours away. So like even today when I said I wanted to sign up, I told that lady where I was living and coming from, and she still made this appointment for 1:17. I'm not going to make it. It's already 11:30. It takes at least 2 hours to get there, right?
All right, I've tried to answer all these questions and concerns for him. I would ask the court, I guess if the state is in agreement to extend the deadline to August, I'm not opposed to that, Judge. And if he wants a time deal, we can work that out too, Judge.
Judge, and just so that they have enough time to talk, and we're not opposed to Mr. Rodriguez can participate in the conversation as well, if Mr. Moreno is okay with that, but we can try and work this out. If we can get the October setting for status or November, I think that'll give us enough time to just be able to work this out. I think it's just a matter of putting our collective heads together and figuring it out.
Let's go and put it in the November docket.
Sure. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Rodriguez, November.
May Mr. Rodriguez be excused, Judge?
You may be excused. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay. Thank you.
On the next two cases, 2020 CCR 0190, the state of Texas versus Erica G. Rojas, and 2020 CCR 0191, the state of Texas versus Juan G. Rojas. Those were put on the docket in error. They should have settings of September 8th.
Okay.
2021 CCR 0029, the state of Texas versus Ashley Lynette Salazar.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Robles appear on behalf of Ashley Salazar, and she is present on Zoom.
Okay. Ms. Salazar, are you present?
Yes.
Okay. Go forward, Mr. Robles.
This has been set for status. Last time, the assistant DA handling the case, who's in trial today in a different court, she was going to visit with the father, who is the complainant, to see whether the state wanted to proceed with the charge or not. I messaged her this morning. She said she needed more time. I have no objection. I want them certainly to look at it, closely to see if they want to proceed in an assault case involving the daughter and the father. So I have no objection if the state wants more time to give the assistant DA a chance to look at the case.
Judge, I'd ask for an October setting. Again, the conversation with the victim may be dispositive of this case, and so it may very well be that we take care of it even before that setting.
Okay, let's move this to October 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll go ahead and follow up with the assistant DA when she's done with her trial. And that's all I have. May my client be excused?
You may be excused.
Thank you. Have a great day.
2021 CCR 0059, the state of Texas versus Amanda Lee Salinas, and 2021 CCR 0060 and 2021 CCR 0111, all for the same defendant. She is in custody. Judge, waivers of arraignment were filed in that case, and all three cases are now set for November 2nd for status.
Yeah, okay, so we're done for today.
Yes, sir. And she is present to hear that announcement.
Okay, she may be excused.
(2021) CCR 0061, the state of Texas versus Selena Marie Salinas, and also 2021 CCR 0062 for the same defendant.
Mr. Canales, are you present? He's not present, correct?
I have not spoken to Mr. Canales, Judge. I know that we had spoken previously. He is, well, he's on the state legislature. So he's either in Washington, DC or in Austin. I don't know where he is, but I do know that he is one of our elected representatives. And so typically he gets the legislative continuance. So I'm going to defer to his status as a legislator and ask if we can get this for maybe and I don't believe she's in custody. So I'm going to ask for the November setting.
Think he'll be back by then?
I hope so. I think he would hope so too.
I agree. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at it. Let's go ahead and reset that for November 2nd.
And it had been set for pretrial and trial. So if we could just get it for a status setting, and then that way we'll know where we're going to go after that.
Okay, I agree. Let's go ahead and put that as a status setting.
Thank you, Your Honor.
(2020) CCR 0111, the state of Texas versus Jonathan Michael Smith. And I believe a dismissal has already been granted in this case, if I'm correct.
That's correct, Judge. There was a felony that was dispositive of this case, and so I believe we filed a dismissal. The order should have been signed. If not, I'd ask for the order to be signed.
And I believe it was signed, if not Friday, it was signed on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
2014 CCR 0050, the state of Texas versus Jose Francisco Sosa Jr., and also 2014 CCR 0051, 2014 CCR 0190, and 2014 CCR 0191, all for the same defendant.
Oh, yes, I need to sign those. Darn.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. Judge, I've conferred with the state. We have an agreement. We simply haven't worked out the details. We'd ask for a reset so we can get the plea packet and get the details worked out and get the plea ready, Judge.
Okay, this is a 2014 case?
Judge.
It was, Judge. Mr. Sosa had FTA'd for a while, and so that's why it's back on the court's docket. And so he hasn't, I think, been back on for at least a year. So the soonest setting that we could. so that we can plead this out.
Can we do this on September 8th?
Yes, Judge.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, matters reset for plea for September 8th.
Thank you, Judge.
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
(2020) CCR 0040, the state of Texas versus Richard Douglas St. John, and also 2020 CCR 0041. And I believe he is present in our lobby, Judge.
So Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. St. John, Your Honor. He has been signed up and approved for pretrial diversion this morning. If I could just ask the court to consider waiving one set of probation fees. Currently, the paperwork does indicate that he has to pay both sets. I had spoken to Mr. Mattingly yesterday, and he was not opposed to me asking the court to consider waiving one set of fees.
Okay.
Okay, well, if I can just interject, Judge, this is a PTD, so it's not probation fees, it's an application fee. So there has to be 2 application fees filed. There's no monthly probation fees, but it's a one-time application fee. So there are no PTD fees.
My understanding was that the paperwork indicated that there is a $60 charge every month on both cases.
Yes, Your Honor, I won't be opposed to consolidating that to only one set of fees.
Good morning, Judge Denise Zamora with the Probation Department. Unfortunately, the defendant signed and agreed to the contract this morning on both cases. They've both been notarized, and that was the agreement that we approved on. Normally, we don't waive probation fees on pretrial cases for more than one case. If the DA is recommending that, then we'll go forward. But just for the record, the probation office is opposed to that.
At this time, as far as what was signed, I think I may stick to the words that the defendant actually signed on and leave the 2 fees in place.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Understood, Your Honor.
Anything else regarding this case?
No, Your Honor, that was all.
Okay, do we need another status hearing date?
My understanding.
I'm sorry, Jennifer.
I don't believe we need another status date unless he is found to be non-compliant with the pretrial diversion.
Okay. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
2021 CCR 0041, the state of Texas versus Hannah Nicole Stone.
Jason Collins with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Stone. She is on the call, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Stone, are you on the call? Ms. Stone, there we go.
Your Honor.
Go ahead.
This case, Your Honor, this case is set for status. We have reached out to the state. We're asking for a reset so that we can continue coordinating and see if we can resolve this matter.
In my understanding, Judge, this is a relatively new case. Ms. Stone was just recently, the complaint was recently filed. I'm not, okay, so I'm losing her on here. Okay, there she is. Can she hear us? Because I can't hear her and I see her on her phone. I'd ask her to be able to be attentive to what is going on, Judge. I just don't want there to be miscommunication.
Yes, ma'am, I'm listening. My speaker is broken, sorry.
Okay, all right, well, Judge, on this one, I think we just needed to convey an offer. We're just in the early stages of trying to work this one out. So if we could get the next available setting, whatever the court wants, that way we can start talking about it.
Okay, at this point, the September 8th or September 8th settings are pretty full. Let's go for October 6th, if that'll work. Does that work, Jennifer?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Ms. Stone be excused at this time?
She may be excused.
Thank you.
2017 CCR 0235, the state of Texas versus Nieves.
It's a PTED status hearing.
Yes,
legal aid.
Judge. He was supposed to sign up for PTD. I'm not sure if he signed up. I think this is one of either Mr. Moreno's cases or Mr. Collin.
Jason
Mr.
Collins,
Collins?
Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid, Your Honor. It is my client. He was supposed to sign up, but he was having difficulty getting the payment on time. I don't think we're opposed to seeing if we could get him back on. However, I have had difficulties reaching him. I don't know if he's on the call right now.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, are you on the call? Mr. Thomas? No device, Thomas, are you on the call? Let's have the bailiff make a call in the lobby.
Our bailiff did confirm he did call him this morning on the call, and they did just call right now in the lobby, and there was no response.
Thank you. State, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, there be no response. The state would ask that a capias issue, bond be forfeited, a no bond be set once he is located, and a judgment nisi in favor of the state. And just ask that it be recalled at the end of your docket, and if he's not on by then, that be granted.
So ordered. Thank you.
2017 CCR 0209, the state of Texas versus Alejandro Tejirina Jr., and 2018 CCR 0198, and 2019 CCR 0224, all for the same defendant.
Joseph Moreno with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid from Tejirina, Judge. I believe he is on the call.
Mr. Tejirina, are you on the call?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Don, this is a case again where we spoke to the state and just reached an agreement yesterday, a tentative agreement. We have to still work out the details and get the plea packet together. We're asking for another setting just so we can work out the plea.
That's correct, Your Honor. Whatever date the court gives us, we'll have the plea papers ready, signed, and e-filed by then.
October, November.
We can set it for the October 6th setting if the plea will be ready by then.
Yes, it'll be ready by then.
October 6th it is. Thank you.
May Mr. Tejirina be excused, Judge?
You may be excused.
Okay, thank you.
2019 CCR 0194, the state of Texas versus Fidel Torres, and also 2019 CCR 0199 and 2020 CCR 0209. And I believe he may be in custody, Judge.
Yes, Judge Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. He is in custody and he also has a felony case pending. We'd ask for the October setting in these cases, Judge.
No objection, Your Honor. I think we're going to try and work all of these out together, see where it's going to take us, and by then we'll know if we're going to need a trial setting.
Okay, let's move that to October 6th setting.
Thank you, Judge.
He may be excused. Well, he's not here. Sorry about that.
And I show an indication that legal aid had previously withdrawn because the defendant was going to hire private counsel. Is that no longer the case?
He had, excuse me, I'm sorry. We were appointed to represent him. And then he picked up a new case where he hired private counsel. And I don't know whether he picked up another case after that, but subsequently he couldn't afford to keep counsel on as his attorney. So he asked that we represent him once again.
Okay, thank you. 2020 CCR 0114, the state of Texas versus Guillermo Torres.
Joseph Moreno, Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid for Mr. Torres, Judge. I believe he's on the call. He is hard of hearing, so he's got his wife on the call assisting him.
Mr. Torres, are you here?
Yes.
Yes, Guillermo Torres.
Yes, Judge. And in this case, we're still in the process of gathering documents, Judge. I asked the court to give us one more status setting. If the November second setting is fine with the court, we'd ask for that setting.
What's
That's
that?
fine.
State's not opposed, Your Honor.
Okay, let's move this to a status setting of November 2nd.
Judge, may Mr. Torres be excused?
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I'm here.
2021 CCR 0045, the state of Texas versus Jesus Damian Torres, and also 2019 CCR 0084 and 2019 CCR 0208, all for the same defendant. And these are Mr. Robert Flores' cases, and we've previously agreed to reset all his cases to October 6th.
So reset. Thank you.
2020 CCR 0028, the state of Texas versus Servando Villarreal Garcia.
Also Moreno, Texas Rio Grande legal late for Mr. Garcia. Judge, he is on the call. I see his name on the screen, Judge.
Mr. Villarreal Garcia, are you on the call?
Mr. Servando Garcia,
He is muted.
you're on mute.
I can see him talk or moving his lips, but I can't hear him.
Okay, well, he's here.
Your Honor, this is a case for, well, it's a family violence case, and I know Ms. Hinojosa indicated that her prosecutor on these cases may be out till, I don't know if it's November or October. We'd be asking for another status setting, I suppose, for December.
Yes, Your Honor, if we could get, I would be in agreement with a status setting in December.
Okay, let's move this status setting to December, what, 8th?
December 8th.
We'll be on the status hearing for December 8th.
Thank you, Judge. May Mr. Garcia be excused?
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
2020.
Nice. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jennifer.
That's okay. 2020 CCR 0142, the state of Texas versus Ida Ibarra.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Miss Ibarra. I do believe she's on the call, Your Honor.
Ms. Ibarra, are you on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
we can.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Your Honor, in this case, we have spoken with the state, and this case was currently set for a pretrial. We're asking for a October pretrial and trial date.
That's correct, Judge. We've spoken briefly on it, so if we could get the October dates.
That would be October 6th for pretrial, October 12th for trial.
So granted.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Miss Ibarra be excused at this time?
You may be excused.
Thank you, sir.
2020 CCR 0023, the state of Texas versus Marcia Denise Zion.
Senator, I'm gonna ask the Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Zion, Your Honor. I believe she may be at the courthouse.
I don't see her on the screen. Is she at the courthouse?
It was indicated to me that she was here earlier. We're just gonna double check to see if she's still here.
Wait, I'm here, ma'am.
That is Ms. Zion on the screen now, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
can hear you.
Okay.
Your Honor, this case is currently set for pretrial. I have spoken with the state, and at this time, we'd ask for another pretrial and trial date.
Okay.
That's fine, Judge. She's not in custody, so I just defer to the court on whatever dates that your calendar looks better.
We can give it the November 2nd for pretrial, November 3rd for trial.
Your Honor, that'd be fine.
So ordered. Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you,
please for today, sir.
Am I excused, ma'am? Or-
You may be excused.
Thank you.
Next case.
That's
Are we on the
the
additional
add-on.
one?
Yes, 2021 CCR 0115, the state of Texas versus Melissa Grimaldo. And she was on this morning, Judge.
Ms. Grimaldo, are you
I'm
here?
here. Hello?
Yes. And is your attorney here?
Yes, sir.
Legally?
They're listed as attorney, but however, I don't believe that they have submitted anything on her behalf yet.
Your Honor, we had represented her in previous cases. She does have this case. She has not applied for a service, so she'd need to do that before we can open up a case for her. We don't have a current phone number for her where we can reach her. We'd ask for her phone number so that we can give her a call and have her apply for her services.
Judge, since this is an arraignment, we could get the next arraignment date in September. I believe September the 7th had been given out for arraignment.
That's correct.
Just to give her enough time to qualify for public defender and get her signed up if possible.
Okay, let's go ahead and set it for September for the next arraignment date. And Ms. Grimaldo, what is your telephone number? Ms. Grimaldo?
I believe her camera or both her camera and her audio froze, Judge. I believe she did leave a phone number with our office yesterday. I can pass that along to the investigators at Legal Aid if they prefer.
Sure, that'll be fine. Another thing, Judge, is I think that she may have failed to appear at a previous arraignment setting, so there may be a capias out for her arrest, so we'd be asking the court to consider, well, I guess it's a little difficult to ask the court to do anything on her behalf since we're not appointed officially yet, but we'd ask the court to consider recalling the capias so that we can get her arraigned and have her appear at the next setting, Judge.
Judge, the state would ask that the capias be recalled. She's made an appearance today. She's not hiding. She's provided us a phone number. So I'd ask that the capias be recalled.
Capias is so recalled.
Thank you, Judge. We'll reach out to her.
Where are we at?
Judge, just to go back onto the docket on page 3 and 4, 2021 CCR 0073, the state of Texas versus Eric Cardenas Salomon, and also 2021 CCR 0122. I had indicated that we had an interpreter signing on. However, when I looked back on the confirmation, it looks like they were confirmed for tomorrow. Currently we don't have a Zoom setting for tomorrow, but there are pleas ready in both of those cases from what I understand. And I don't know if you want to possibly reset for tomorrow so we can take care of those.
Let's reset for tomorrow.
Would that be at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Judge?
9 a.m. Yes.
Okay.
That's when our docket starts.
And I did let the attorney Ernie Hernandez know, who is on the case on 2021 CCR 0073. However, I do believe attorney Derek Reyna was appointed in 2021 CCR 0122.
He is, and I believe he's on his iPhone. I know he and I have been communicating. So if Mr. Hernandez is still on, I'm not sure if he is, but I will make sure to let them both know, Judge, that the pleas will be taken care of tomorrow morning. And Mr. Cardenas Salomon is in the county jail, so they'll let him know there to appear tomorrow morning at 9.
And I believe he is there on the screen, Judge.
Yeah, Derek Reyna or Mr. Hernandez?
No, Mr. Cardenas Salomon is on the screen at the county jail with one of the jailers.
Okay, I see him. Sorry. Fantastic. Okay, so it's so ordered that we'll reset this till tomorrow, 9 o'clock for the entry of pleas. That's going to be a plea in both cases or just one?
Judge, so tomorrow it'll be for 2 for the both cases, correct? At 9
Yes.
a.m.?
Yes, it's going to be a plea for both of them, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
And it'll be via Zoom for the record. I know we were set for in-person tomorrow, but it doesn't look like any of our trials are gonna go tomorrow. So it'll all be via Zoom still.
Okay. And what's next?
The bottom of page 6 and going into page 7, 2020 CCR 0118, the state of Texas versus Priscilla Nicole Dominguez, and 2020 CCR 0119 and 2020 CCR 0121, all for the same defendant.
I see Mr. Fugate's here.
Yes, Judge, I'm ready.
Okay, and your client?
She should be on, Judge. There she is.
Caroline?
And I don't show that those plea papers have been filed yet. As of right now, I'm still checking my queue. They haven't been filed yet.
You were mentioning tomorrow's docket, all the trials have been passed for tomorrow?
From what I understand, yes.
Okay.
I haven't seen one that we've set.
I know we filed it earlier and they were waiting on additional documents, so it should have all been done, about an hour ago, Jennifer, unless we're having issues with our computer.
Can we hear those tomorrow?
I'm available tomorrow, Judge, at the court's convenience.
Judge, I've got to be on the road by 11 tomorrow. I'm technically I'm on vacation. I set aside this day to try to dispose this case. I got to be on the road by 11 tomorrow. If we can get it in early in the morning, if we can be first up, I might be able to swing it.
Not a problem. Let's have it you set for first in the morning for all three cases.
And we'll walk the plea papers over to the county clerk's office. We'll make sure that you have them today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
At the bottom of page 7, 2021 CCR 0046, the state of Texas versus Randy Joseph Erickson.
Judge, and I don't see that he's on. I would ask that a capias be, his name has already been called out 3 times. I would ask that a capias be issued, bond be forfeited, and no bond be said, and a judgment nisi granted in favor of the state.
So granted. Please issue the capias.
The top of page 8, 2021 CCR 0106, the state of Texas versus Brendan Angel Flores. And I do show that he has been signed on since around 10:40.
Okay.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Mr. Flores. He is on the call. Your Honor, this case is set for an arraignment. We did not get a chance to fill out a waiver. We're asking that Mr. Flores be arraigned in open court and that he enter a plea of not guilty.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. It's because I couldn't hear nothing. No one was talking.
Can you hear us now, Mr. Flores?
Yes, sir. I am present.
Okay. Your Honor.
And you don't wish to waive your arraignment at this time? Mr. Flores?
I'm sorry?
Do you wish to waive your arraignment?
What is that?
Arraigned in open court.
Your Honor, we're asking that he be arraigned in open court. I have not had a chance to go through his charges with him yet.
Okay.
Judge, given that we're coming back tomorrow for a couple of pleas, is that enough time for Mr. Collin to go over that with Mr. Flores and just have it signed up? Perhaps we could reset the arraignment for tomorrow.
That works for me. Does that work for you, Mr. Collin?
I'm not opposed to it, Your Honor. I'm also not opposed to just having him be arraigned in open court today. Just because he's already logged on.
I would defer to the court, Your Honor.
Let's try to see what we can do on a waiver. If not, then we need to do the open court. I can do the open court tomorrow, or it can be go to the next visiting judge.
If I may, Your Honor,
Yes.
if the court would be so obliged, we would prefer to have him arraigned in open court right now, if possible.
Can we do that on Zoom?
We can, and I can forward you the complaint and information if you'd like.
Judge, I can read out the complaint and information for the court. I've got it right in front of me.
Okay, if you do that, and that way we can go ahead and have him arraigned.
Your Honor, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, before me, the undersigned authority on this day personally appeared Juan R. Mijares, who after being by me duly sworn on oath deposes and says that he has good reason to believe and does believe that on or about the second day of June 2019 and before the making and filing of this complaint in the county of Willacy and state of Texas, Brendan Angel Flores, hereinafter called the defendant, did then and there intentionally flee from Armin Martinez, a person the defendant knew was a peace officer who was attempting lawfully to arrest or detain the defendant against the peace and dignity of the state. Complainant signed Juan R. Mijares, sworn to and subscribed before me this 14th day of May 2021, signed by Nareda Morales Martinez from the Willacy County District Attorney's Office.
With regard to that complaint, how does the defendant plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Your Honor, we're
Not guilty.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I didn't give you a chance, Mr. Collin.
No, that is the plea we're entering, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll accept the plea at this time. It will be set for trial.
In which month do we want that setting?
When did this take place?
In June of this year, Judge.
June this year? Okay. Let's set it for November.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, June of 2019. I apologize.
Okay. How was our November settings, trial settings?
That's fine, Judge. Do we want to set it straight for trial, or do we want a status hearing beforehand?
To a status hearing.
Your Honor, if I may, I do believe that this case is going to be resolved, so we would ask for a status setting.
Okay. Let's go ahead and set for a status setting on November 2nd.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Mr. Flores be excused at this time?
He may be excused. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your
Thank
Honor,
you.
Your Honor, Sam Fugate. I just I didn't want to log off without asking the court to be excused. My client and I are reset for tomorrow for that plea, and I'm just waiting on the Zoom info. But if we could be excused,
You may be excused.
thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Fugate, I'll forward that Zoom information later this afternoon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And on page 11, an announcement on 2020 CCR 0097, the state of Texas versus Reyes Clark Guerra. Attorney Rick Gonzalez had filed a motion for continuance that I just didn't make a note of. The case is now set for status on September 8th.
Okay.
On page 14, 2021 CCR 0004, the state of Texas versus Christina Ledesma.
Jason Collin with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on behalf of Ms. Ledesma. I do believe she's on the call now, Your Honor.
We filed the plea papers, Jennifer, so I'm hoping you see them because that's what this is, a plea.
Okay, you have plea papers on file?
I don't see that anything has come into my queue, and I don't believe that anybody in my office has accepted them because I haven't received a message noting that. I don't know if we want to reset this to tomorrow, or I'm not sure how we want to proceed.
Well, since we have an open day tomorrow, let's go ahead and reset it for tomorrow. So they have time to get the plea papers in.
And again, if there's an issue with our computer system, we'll make sure and walk the paperwork over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Ms. Ledesma be excused at this time?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
On page 15, 2021 CCR 0121, the state of Texas versus Jose Feliciano Mata.
I'm sorry, what page?
15.
15?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't believe he was present this morning.
Okay. State, how do you want to proceed?
On this one, Judge, the state had asked for the capias and the court did order it on this one.
Okay, fantastic. Next case.
I'm looking to see if we have any others on recall. On page 22, you did want it recalled 2017 CCR 0235, the state of Texas versus Nieves Tamez. They did already ask for the capias, but we did ask it to be recalled at the end of the docket.
Okay, so we've already addressed that one.
Yes, Judge, and given that he has not made his appearance and it is the end of the docket, we would ask that the capias be ordered.
Okay, let the capias be so ordered. And as requested earlier in the earlier proceeding.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Judge, on my end, it looks like we've called all the cases for today.
It was a marathon.
But very efficiently run.